Grums on X. Microsoft lays off staff at King Mobile, which on the surface, I'd be like, okay, yeah, Microsoft laying off staff. That's all they're doing these days, laying off staff. Okay, no big deal. What are they replacing them with? AI. Not just AI, but they're replacing them with the AI that the very people that work there helped train. The cuts are mostly at the middle manager, user experience, and narrative level. You know what I think? Those are the layers with the most DEI Karens and bloat, which I would agree with. The qualifications are easy to hand wave, and the skills are soft. And the damage that can be done by an activist story writer can tank your game. I see this as the right area to target. It's a very based take by Grums, and one that I agree with. It says sources suggest that staff laid off at King will be replaced by AI tools they helped create. A report from mobilegamer.biz suggests that employees at the mobile developer who are working on level design and narrative will be affected as part of the Microsoft cuts. Now, I know King has other games, but let's be real here. King is a one-trick pony when it comes to Candy Crush. And sure, they have other stuff and narrative games and narrative experience, but really their bread and butter is Candy Crush. And I don't think they really care about narrative design for Candy Crush. The report suggests that the cuts at King are mostly middle management, user experience, narrative copywriting, noting that around half of the Farm Heroes Saga team in London will be leaving, equating to roughly 50 people. It also suggests that some senior staff have been put on gardening leave until September, when a new organizational chart will be announced. No idea what gardening leave is, but I'd imagine it's a break to go garden while you wait for your job to come back. Pirate Nation said 200 total King staff laid off at Microsoft will be replaced by AI. And a screenshot of the article here says Microsoft's 200 laid off King devs are reportedly being replaced by AI they helped build. While it's a quote unquote absolute shit show, HR department looks away and whistles. Morale is predictably in the gutter. And this is, by the way, for those that forget that King was acquired by Microsoft. And after the acquisition, what always seems to follow? Layoffs, especially from a massive, massive company. Then we have Video Games Chronicle. They said laid off King staff are reportedly being replaced by AI tools that they help build. AI tools are basically replacing laid off design teams, it's claimed, which is absolutely hysterical coming from Microsoft. This is the same company that I reported on, was it last week, when they had massive layoffs of like 7,000 people. And there was that report of one of the managers that was still there on LinkedIn before he quickly deleted his post. It got screenshot where he was telling the laid off people to consult with ChatGPT on how to psychologically overcome it. He was telling the people that got laid off to go talk to AI to deal with it. and now they're replacing them with AI. This also flies in the face of what a lot of companies are saying, by the way, where they're like, no, no one's going to lose their job to AI. AI is going to help people make their job easier and they can do their job better. I think we all knew and read right through that, but still funny to see it actually come to light. Staff laid off by Microsoft-owned Candy Crush developer King are being replaced by AI tools that they helped create, former staff have claimed. Earlier this month, King cut around 200 staff, which is a substantial amount of people for a studio, as part of Microsoft's sweeping layoffs, which saw games canceled and studios slashed across its games business. By the way, I don't know how I would mentally feel if I worked at a company, I was tasked with training AI with what I was doing, and then I got laid off shortly after that, only to find out that I was training the AI, and that's what's replacing what I did, rendering me useless, meaning that my contribution to the company was replaced by a computer. That would hit hard. I'd be like, damn, I was useless. That's crazy. uh, the cuts at King, which has offices in cities such as London, Barcelona, and Stockholm, mainly affected middle management and UX and narrative copywriting, it's claimed. However, according to a new report from mobile.gamer.biz, many level and UX designers, plus practically half of the London-based Farm Heroes Saga team, have also been told they're at risk. Notably, it's claimed that these staff spent the last few years building and training AI tools to do their jobs. This almost reminds me of Candy Crush being the moneymaker, the golden goose, the Fortnite of their company, where it just prints money every single day. It's like the Grand Theft Auto 5 online for them. No matter what, every single day, they just make millions of dollars with Candy Crush. And they're using that money. They were reinvesting it in their company to try to make another mobile game, try to find another series in a different genre to try to replicate that and make even more money. And what they realized was it's really hard to do that. It's almost like finding a diamond in the rough when you create a game. Sometimes it doesn't matter the amount of people or even the talent. If the idea itself is not special to grasp the hold of people to play the game, it doesn't matter what you put into it. Anyways, it continues. Most of the level design has been wiped, which is crazy since they've spent months building tools to craft levels quicker, one anonymous staffer told Mobile Gamer. Now those AI tools are basically replacing the teams. Similarly, the copywriting team is completely removing people since we now have AI tools that those individuals have been creating, which goes to another point, by the way. They're still making the same amount of money, supposedly, or somewhere around that. And they're using AI to replace people, meaning that they're saving money instead of paying employees money. Where's that extra money going to? And I can't help but think that it's going to flow to the top because that's what always seems to happen. The fact AI tools are replacing people is absolutely disgusting, but it's all about efficiency. And I don't think it's disgusting. I think it speaks volumes for how little importance your job was. I think that's what it. If you just want a company to be a charity, then yeah, I guess it's disgusting that you lost your job to it. But I look at it like if AI can replace you, it's eventually going to replace you, and that actually is a very scary outcome for reality. Because as AI gets better and grows more and more, it will be able to take over more and more jobs to the point of wondering, what are people going to be left to do 50 years from now, 100 years from now? There will be no taxi service anymore. There won't be any buses being driven anymore. There's not going to be any tax experts anymore. Everything's going to be automated. What can you do? What will be left for you? It's scary. It's a very scary proposition. It's all about efficiency and profits, even though the company is doing great overall. Well, I mean, yeah, it's about the shareholders, as it always is with the most valuable company on the planet, Microsoft. Sergeant Sapien, I was going to say that. I didn't, but we'll all go wall E mode. Well, that requires money being given to us. If we're introducing more feedback loops, then it's crazy to remove the developers themselves. We need more hands and less leadership. The same source suggested that the total number of staff cuts may be more than 200. Speaking at the Game Developers Conference in May 2023, King's Chief Technology Officer, Steve Collins, told Eurogamer the ambition for King was to pivot to an AI-first company after it acquired Swedish AI company Pelterion. According to media reports, Microsoft's latest layoffs were influenced at least in part by the significant cost of investment into AI. Microsoft, so it's funny, they're like, oh, it costs us so much for the AI that we can't afford the people anymore, so we're laying you off. Microsoft announced that sweeping layoffs earlier this month, which could amount to over 9,000 staff losing their jobs. Over 9,000? Sorry, I had to. The publisher's troubled reboot of Perfect Dark has been canceled, and the initiative has been closed. Which I got to be honest, just now they mentioned the Perfect Dark thing, I still can't believe they canceled Perfect Dark. Is that 7 years in development and nothing to show for it is crazy to me. Not even a demo? What the hell were they doing? Rare's Troubled Everwild has also been canceled. That's another game that was in the works for like 8+ years. And several senior developers have left the historic studio. Yeah, Microsoft, by the way, is doing just fine because they're laying people off, making more money than God, and having no need to replace the people with AI taking their place. It is a concern for the long-term future of employment, but I'm not surprised by it. I half expected it. And in case you guys were wondering, this is the report from Mobile Gamer Biz that they're referencing. Laid off King staff set to be replaced by AI tools they help build. I'm not going to read through this whole thing. Initially, the news broke from Bloomberg that King would be cutting around 2,000 staff earlier this month. Number was confirmed by sources, and they've since been told that it also affects London-based Farm Heroes Saga team. So there you go. More layoffs at Microsoft. Tell me, are you surprised? Because I'm not. It's all Duggan Games for the 10 banger says, garden leave means you are still on staff but have no assignments and can use the time to find new work. Orgs do this instead of severance so they can make you tie up loose ends on the way out. Oh, so basically garden leave means you're probably not going to be coming back. Interesting. Thank you for the heads up on that. Thank you for the 10 banger. Appreciate you. Griffin Claw for the 2. The best paralegal is AI. Adapt or accept. That is true, by the way. I can speak from personal experience that just asking questions instead of charging my own lawyer every time I want to reach out to him, I just go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, if I told you this situation, what are the odds or the percent or what are the outcomes that could come from this? And it just breaks everything down instantly. I am constantly impressed with how thorough and really good AI already is. Like it is, if you don't use AI, start using it because you will be left behind. It's incredible. I've told people the story before too. My wife is the troop lead for my daughter's Girl Scout troop, and she spends all day filling out a schedule for them, you know, the getting their patches and what they need to do for it, this, that, the other thing. And she breaks it down, puts a whole table together and puts it all out there. And it takes her hours on end. And I was like, you know, you can just use AI to do that. And she's like, how would it even know? And I'm like, you just got to prompt it. Say, here are the 5 things I need to do. I need to schedule these out for this day. And I need these times to work for it in like less than 1 paragraph. And boom, it will create not just the information, but in a table format, exactly what she was doing. That would take her like 5 hours to do and would do it in like 4 seconds. And she was like, holy shit. I was like, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, it's definitely going to be taking more and more jobs. And this is something, mark this moment in history down. We're all talking about a potential game crash or the game industry's on the rocks. I think we got to pull the lens back and be like, society at large is on the rocks right now with AI, that it's going to be a wrecking ball when it gets to the point of taking people's jobs away. And then you got to really wonder what comes next. But I'll leave that one there.